Despite Western propaganda, China's economy has grown into a world power in the past decade, approaching the GDP of the United States. In addition, the country continues to increase its influence in both Central Europe and Africa. Outstanding economic development is made possible by various infrastructure projects, and in this video I will introduce you to China's 10 biggest megaprojects that will change the country and the world. Number 10. Shenzen Hong Kong International Center. We would start our list right away with a project that is planned to be implemented by 2029 and includes the second tallest building in the world. Shenzhen is one of China's largest cities near Hong Kong, and such an important business base calls for a center where trade can be concentrated. This is what gave rise to the concept of Shenzhen Hong Kong International Central, an $8 billion mega project. The Shenzhen Tower will be 700 meters tall, making it the tallest in terms of records. Although it will mainly contain offices, hotels and apartments, there will also be a screening room and a swimming pool on top. The city will also include stadiums and skyscrapers. It also proves the development of the Chinese economy. Number 9. Sanghai Urban Rail Expansion. Shanghai is the country's largest city and currently has one of the longest subway networks in the world. The problem is that it keeps expanding and getting bigger and bigger. The next project on our list targets transport. In Shanghai, the maglev railway connecting the airport with the city center has already opened, which is considered the fastest operating train in the world, but the city's subway network is also quite large, and it would be further expanded in the future. The currently mentioned project represents a 286-kilometer extension between the two airports and the two main railway stations. 5 metro lines and 2 railway lines will be built. The work started last year and will be completed in the next 10 years. All of this will cost $44 billion. Number 8. South China Sea Islands. Not only does China have a large economy, but also a large army, which is the third strongest in the world. Although the country is mysterious from this point of view, it is important that China wants to spread its influence to the west and east. One of the busiest trade routes in the world passes through the South China Sea, and the busiest ports are also located in the region. China wants to control this route and has built artificial islands along it. Among other things, air defense and anti-missile systems were installed here, due to the frequent American presence in the region, and in case of a possible China-US conflict. And let's not forget Taiwan, which is located in the region. Roughly $5 billion is being spent on the projects, but there's no way to know for sure. Number 7. Guangzhou Evergrande Stadium. In 2024, they started building one of the most interesting stadiums in the world, although the country is not short when it comes to stadiums, considering the Beijing Olympic Stadium. This new stadium will be built at a cost of $1.7 billion and will have a capacity of 100,000 people. Looking at the renderings, the stadium will resemble the shape of a flower. The reason for this is that the characteristic of the area is the lotus flower, and the stadium was designed accordingly. By the way, the real estate development company that would have implemented this project got into a crisis in 2022, so the state will finally implement it. After being almost completely cancelled, the project will still be realized in the next 3 years. Number 6. Chengdu Metro. By 2027, they want to complete the construction of a subway network that, when ready, will be the world's largest subway. This time it will be built in Chengdu, although the first phase was delivered in 2010, and 22 more extensions are planned. Most of them are already under construction, but the other part is still under planning. What we see in the current network is the 4th section and the started part of the 5th, since the metro is being built in sections here as well. From the plans, it seems that the current lines will remain, only they will be extended to the suburbs, thus further increasing the current 558-kilometer network. All this will cost $20 billion. Number 5. Yantai-Dalian Undersea Tunnel. The planned tunnel between the eastern city of Yantai and the northern Dalian will stretch about 90 kilometers under the Bohai Sea, more than twice the length of the Channel Tunnel between England and France. Thus, instead of the previous 8-hour ferry trip, the crossing would only take 1 hour. The proposal arose in the 1990s, then in 2014 the government accepted it as part of a plan, and the plans were submitted in 2019, and it is expected to be completed by 2039. The tunnel would be 123 kilometers long, of which 90 kilometers would run underwater. Similarly, the train would be able to transport cars like the Channel Tunnel. Despite the project's ambition, the costs are estimated at $32 billion. Number 4. Taiwan Strait Tunnel Project. During our video, we already mentioned the relationship between China and Taiwan. Although an open confrontation is not yet expected, it seems that China wants to economically destroy Taiwan, which is currently the world's largest currency base. Be that as it may, the next project was proposed by China, but Taiwan saw it as just propaganda, so its implementation will probably be possible if China really occupies the island nation. It was proposed in 1996 and would be implemented as part of the Beijing-Taipei Expressway. The project would consist of 3 undersea tunnels, each of which would be 4 times longer than the Channel Tunnel. In any case, in 2013, the Chinese State Treasury approved the project, which, if ever realized, would cost $62.6 billion. Number 3. South North Water Transport Project. As we know, China is one of the largest countries in the world, and for the efficient operation of agriculture, it is necessary that the croplands have access to an adequate amount of water. Here we primarily mean the central and western areas of the country, where the weather is warmer and there is room for farmland. In 2003, to remedy this, they began to build the investment known as the South North Water Transfer Project. This will transport an adequate amount of water over 1,200 kilometers through tunnels and bridges. It will be fully completed by 2050, then it will cost $79 billion. Number 2. High-speed railway projects. China has the largest high-speed rail network in the world, which is 40,000 kilometers long. And speaking of Shanghai's juice, it's important to note that the fastest traditional wheeled trains also run here, but I've made a video about this before. However, they want to continue to build a network, and not only in China, but also abroad, such as in Indonesia, but this will be discussed in the next project. They want to increase the high-speed network to 70,000 kilometers by 2035, with projects such as the Sichuan-Tibet Railway or the Changchun-Kunming HSR. The country seems to be taking the issue seriously, as $105 billion will be spent on high-speed rail by 2035. But such a large country also needs these projects. Number 1. Belton Road. Not only China, but the world's most expensive megaproject is coming. The Belton Road project includes megaprojects worldwide. Xi Jinping reported it in Kazakhstan in 2013. Since then the country has been willing to invest in the infrastructure investments of various countries. With this, I would like to revive the historic Silk Road, which stretched between Europe and China, but today, of course, ships with other goods travel between the 2 continents. For example, railways are being built in Nigeria and Pakistan, but a highway is being built in the Himalayas, or a port in Sri Lanka, or even a high-speed railway in Indonesia. China is also open to the European Union, which is in line with the creation of ports and railways and artificial canals on the Balkan Peninsula. All this will cost $4 trillion. Of course, thousands of other projects are being built. This was just a small selection of the most interesting megaprojects, but if you want to see more Chinese megaprojects, let us know in the form of a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you for being here. See you in the next time.